Hello and welcome back. So I've been wanting to embark on a trip across the UK for years, but always found a reason not to do it. But with COVID happening and the restrictions with traveling and whatnot, I thought this was the best time to do it and to do it with the 996. So the trip is going to look something like that. So the route is going to be the following. We're of course based in London, and that's the starting route. We're going to drive all the way south to Plymouth. That will be our base for the south tour. And from there, we will discover all the different places. We want to go to St. Ives, Padstow, Salcombe, Torquay, and different places along the south, and then work our way up back to London, where we'll be staying for a night. Then go up to north. North, we will start with the Peak District. That's where we would like to be for a couple of days and discover all the different routes and driving roads. And then from there on, drive to Glasgow, and that will be our first night into Scotland. From there on, we will drive to the Highlands, with the first being Glencoe. I heard so much about it and how beautiful it is. So we will be based there and maybe do a camp night, and then from there on all the way up north to Inverness, and from there work our way down to Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh, be there for a night or two, and then work our way back to London. But we will break it up with a stay in York, so it's not as long a distance, and then we will carry on back to our home base. So it's a big route, pretty ambitious, but I'm excited about it. All in all, it's meant to be around 2,000 miles. That's the trip that I have so far, but who knows, with detours and other locations that we might fancy taking. But that is how it looks thus far, and I'm pretty excited. We're covering most of the basics, but we'll see how it develops. It's a big distance to cover in about 2 weeks or less. However, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see how the car handles and copes with the different altitudes and just the different roads. So I'm really excited about this one. So the next time I see you will be with a car packed full of different things and on the road. Hello. All right, so we made it to our first stop. This is where we will be based for the next week or so. This is our base camp. You see the car and us made it just fine. The drive was actually pretty nice. There were some really amazing, incredible roads, ones that I'd love to be able to drive on again. The drive down through sort of Exeter and other roads past Stonehenge were absolutely amazing. Some of the best roads I've ever driven on and seen. So we've decided to base ourselves out of Plymouth and explore sort of the neighboring towns and cities and other counties. Everything else is about an hour and a half drive. So we thought it would be a good sort of starting point as far south as we want to be. This is where we will be based. I want to show you, wait, let me show you the car first. It's pretty filthy from the drive, but it's managed really well. Driven on some great sweeping roads, and the car is actually managed really well in terms of fuel consumption, and that's another thing that I was really pleased about. So far we've done about 250 miles to get us here, and we've got at least a quarter of the tank still to go. So I'm pretty comfortable in knowing that I think we'll probably do 315, 20 miles on one single tank, which is really good for a car like this, especially that I'm not really driving slow the whole time. Let me whiz the camera and show you where we are, because it's pretty amazing. This whole vicinity used to be a base camp for the army, and these buildings, the rocks and everything, is just incredible. And this has been taken over by developers a few years ago and turned it into a really nice sort of with restaurants and apartments, and will be a cinema here and other bits. But I just love the old nature of the buildings and the history. This has been here for nearly 300 years. So, and I love the high ceilings and everything else. So let me just turn the camera and you get to see the beauty of Plymouth. I never thought I'd find this in here. I always thought, and it is for the most part an industrial town, but still there's so much beauty, and this really sort of surprised me a lot. Booking this was sort of very last minute and was not intended. We did not intend to be in Plymouth and base ourselves out of here, but somehow it worked out, and I'm really pleased because I never thought I'd visit this place. It's not one of the places that stick out to me, be like, oh, I want to visit, but I'm really glad that it's worked out this way and made us explore it and appreciate it for what it is, because it's actually pretty beautiful with a lot of history. So yeah, now the mission is to unpack, get ourselves into our accommodation, and I'll check in with you guys in a little while. Just stopped for a quick minute. I saw as I was driving down the ramp the Princess Yard across, so I quickly drove the car down to take some photos against these beautiful machines. Really nice. This is where all princess yachts are made. I thought I'll come and take a photo. Looks rather nice. We've made it down to Torquay just for a quick zoom around before we carry on our way. I thought it was a good idea just to get a feel of the town, and it is very nice. I think it's worth coming back for. Just stop for a nice photo op with the view. Not bad, hey?
No, I'll never forget that day. No, no, never forget that day. No, 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 I'll be there. No, I'll never forget that day. No, no, never forget that day. No, 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 I'll be there.
I've stopped in for a little while just to catch the sheep herding away. There they are against Kingston Lassie as the backdrop. How nice is that? The things you discover road tripping. So what I wanted to show you quickly is how we packed this car, because I'll tell you what, it's taken quite a lot of luggage. But let me just quickly show you the front and how we packed it. Actually, there's a couple of more stuff to go in there. So this will go in here. All right, so let me quickly show you. We've put in suitcases and other bits that goes in here. Bear in mind that I also have the wind deflector, so this fits in all snugly. And then the back is where it gets really interesting. So we also have suitcases in the back. We have pillows because on long journeys and where we're camping outside, we need to be comfortable, stuff. And yeah, so the beauty of bringing the seat down is that because of the way the seats are, you can't place the bag itself on the seat. It's quite awkward, and you just wouldn't want to do that for the leather. So by bringing these down, these can be used as shelves. So we have the suitcases here, and then underneath you also have plenty of space to tuck in what you need. So we've used this for towels, jackets and whatnot, and then on the other side as well, more stuff gets packed all the way along and inside. So it's perfect. There's a lot of space that can be utilized, and I love that. So if you look here, it's pretty packed to the brim. And then I've got my washing equipment here if I wanted to do something and wash the car. So yeah, so for the most part, it's been fantastic. So we're gonna make a move, but first, we are back from Plymouth and from the south of England. We just finished the first leg of the tour, and yes, we're back in London. I've got a couple of things planned while I'm here for the next day before we start the north leg of the tour. And so as you see, the car is a filthy. I mean, it's crying out for God's sake. And yes, it's taken a beating on the road, but we like to see it do its thing. So I'm gonna give it a nice clean wash right now, and head out for something special, which you will see in another video. So let's give it a quick rinse in 1, 2, 3, and just like that, it is nice and clean. It feels good actually to have washed it myself. It was weird giving it to somebody else to wash it while I was in Plymouth. There we go, all nice and ready for the second leg of the journey. Hopefully it stays dry before we head out again. Perfect.